Hey everyone, Annette here. I'm coming to you a little bit late in the day for a... I almost set off the ledge. Do we need another one of those today? Maybe. PNN pop-up. I hope you're having a decent day. I want to mention something that I mention to my clients pretty often. And it's this. When we're working on our own sense of having a right to speak up and having a right to be free and liberated from the sort of domineering natures of other people that may be in our lives, when we really develop a sense of autonomy and independence and being empowered, when you do it, it affects the collective. I really know that because we're all connected, so it affects the collective. So maybe give a little bit of thought to what kind of energy we're putting out as individuals into the collective. You know, we have these rogue people in positions of government that shouldn't be there. So maybe it's as simple as, well, who in your personal life has gone rogue and shouldn't be there? You should just dump them. Just a thought. Grab some cards and see what's going on. The day kind of ran away from me, but I realized that I didn't want to let the day go by without addressing that Dumpy really has lost his marbles, and he was found on the roof of the White House. Of course, security was up there on top of the White House with him. We haven't quite determined why he was up on the roof of the White House. It's kind of totally bizarre, but I think we're used to totally bizarre by now. But, more than that, it's dangerous. I mean, you can just imagine Putin like, look what he's doing now, right? So we're going to pull 3 cards about what was going on there. And I'm just going to use the Psychic Tarot. It's a nice quiet evening up here on the rock. My favorite spot. Not very much wind. It's pretty nice. Okay, so what was he doing up there on that roof? What can the cards tell us about that? He's really struggling. He's struggling with needing to clamp down, dampen all this attention on his many infinite number of crimes. And so it's making him a little bit crazy. The 10 of Wands further illustrates that. The 5 of Wands is like really being challenged, kind of like a jousting match. Really being challenged. And the 10 of Wands it's a big burden. And so as far as how he got so crazy, first of all, my first impression was that he was very high on something. And I know he does a lot of stimulants, and I think it probably had that feel about it, that he was really like amped up on something. So I just want to say that we know that it's common knowledge, even the Days of the Apprentice people that were there working on The Apprentice with him, this has been going on for a long time. We all have heard that he does things, he takes things, but I really feel like it was maybe too much. And if I brought my pendulum, I can ask. I'm not sure if I brought it. So the Queen of Cups here, this indicates that he's having some kind of a trouble with one of his staff members that's being shown as the Queen here. For some reason, I feel like that's Tulsi Gabbard. What would that be about? Let me just, what would he be upset with Tulsi about? No, I did not bring a pendulum. It's okay. I don't need it. Why would he be upset with Tulsi? I feel Tulsi Gabbard is pushing back on him. I'm not sure why. So on that note, I'm going to read on I know that they're talking about they're putting a grand jury together to indict Obama. I kind of feel like Tulsi doesn't really want to do this because it's just rife with problems. Of course it is. They're trying to make up a crime. Maybe that works in Russia, but we are still a democracy. So shut up, everybody that's saying we're not a democracy anymore. I don't care what Rachel Maddow said. Yes, we're undergoing a huge challenge to our democracy, but we still have Democrats. We still have Democrats in office, right? I mean, that's not the only reason we're still a democracy. So what's he upset with Tulsi about? 7 of Pentacles. It's just so much work. I keep picking this up. It's so hard. It's so much work to keep this all tamped down. And the 8 of Wands, they have to do something quickly. I keep on feeling like there's a race against time to get this authoritarian takeover. Just get it done. And the King of Cups. Elon's back in the picture. Just last night I was saying I'll read on him the next time, so we'll pull cards about Elon. He's back in the news and he's done a flip, and I was just having a conversation with Kathy Beal, and I was saying, because we were both mentioning that we haven't heard from Elon, and lo and behold, a couple minutes later I noticed he had popped up on the news. And what I said to Kathy prior to that was, I feel like Elon is really under pressure to do something, and they're saying do something. Somebody's saying to him, you got to do this or else you're going to get in huge trouble. So the King of Cups indicates this is Elon, and he's kind of really emotional. Really emotional. I feel like the authoritarianism, that whole movement is moving really quickly, but I don't know why I see Elon in the mix and screwing it up somehow. So we'll read specifically on him next. All right, and we'll get more into things tomorrow night at PNN, 7 p.m. Eastern, and I'll do a pop-up during the day if it fits. Please book a session with me, psychic@dion.com. Could really use some back and forth energy. All right, so let's pull 3 cards about Elon. All right, 1, 2, 3 cards about Elon. Queen of Swords, this is about Kamala coming back. I think that's why they're rushing. I think they have the Hierophant. Elon, they have wind of the fact that these investigations into the election are getting closer to being revealed. And I know that they think, no, maybe that's not true. They don't think they can really, they don't have a game plan for when all the information comes out about how they rigged the election. They don't really have a game plan for that. The 6 of Pentacles indicates they're still going to think that they're going to continue the coup, but I'm reading about Elon, and I have the Queen of Swords, and I feel like Kamala knows what happened and what Elon did, and the Hierophant has to do with our Constitution. 6 of Pentacles indicates there's so much that's out there that's getting ready to be revealed to the world, really. So let's look at a couple other things about that. Let's read on the Epstein situation. What do we want to ask about the Epstein situation? I think they've taken his name, they've taken Dumpy's name off of everything, and I think he might have pardoned Ghislaine. But I haven't actually seen that news yet, but that's the plan anyway. How's that going to go? How's that going to go for his numbers? By the way, him walking around on the roof of the White House is another story that's not going to go away. It isn't. Okay. I feel like I messed up my hair. Frizz City. Okay. It's a little damp outside. Okay, so the Epstein stuff. They're doing deals. Dumpy's doing deals, but it's not going to go well because I have the Three of Wands. Same time he's doing deals, it's like these things are gonna collide. He's doing deals to cover up how much he's in the Epstein files, but it's just like, it's like trying to keep water in a sieve. Leak, 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 leak. And the Nine of Pentacles, there's too much to push up against. The evidence is already out there about the Epstein files and everything, so it's like they're trying to hide something, they're trying to cover up something that's already been exposed. Good luck with that. And let's read on Tulsi Gabbard. What's going on with her? Because I feel like things are really... I don't feel like Tulsi Gabbard is sleeping. I feel like she's really freaked out about something. Yeah, she's in trouble on the world stage. King of Swords. She's in trouble on the world stage, and people know about her connections to Putin. And she's not feeling... Tulsi Gabbard is not feeling confident that she's going to get away with what she's been getting away with, and it's because of the international courts. Remember the whole thing with I'm not connecting her to the Epstein stuff at the moment, but just to make the point, there's a huge seagull just flew over, to make the point that Tulsi knows that she's part of a whole humongous international crime ring, and her secrets could easily come out about Russia and her ties to the Kremlin. So I'm going to pull 3 cards about... what they're trying to do to Obama and how it's going to go for them to try to make up a complete fabricated court case, complete made-up stories in true authoritarian fashion about Obama, making up the Russian collusion story, which he didn't. There's that again. There's a case being built against Tulsi and Pam Bondi about what they're doing. Tons of evidence. And as far as Obama's concerned, Obama knows a lot of people in very elevated positions. I'm sure it's stressful. I'm sure it sucks. But I really feel like Obama has a lot of people on the world stage that have his back. So don't be worrying your little heads about that. Keep your eyes on the prize. We save our democracy. Tomorrow I'll read on the Democrats, the Texas Democrats. So far so good. I want to urge you once again to do the very short meditation that I recorded yesterday. It says in big letters, meditation for the Texas Democrats, to keep them safe and protected during this time where America's facing an attack of fascism. They don't win, we win. All right, see you soon. Have a good evening, or whenever you're watching this, have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.